Hello, boys and girls. This is Rusty Rotor. We'll do a little talking here. I'm going to try to keep this very short and sweet because this, to be honest, is about the 10th time I've tried to make this video, and I don't understand why. Maybe I just don't know why I get so emotional about this. I guess I'm going to chalk it up to that I've lost so much in this past year that I should say in 2025. Not really, other than Jay here now in 2026. But I think the combination of it all where I kind of expected and I knew that the time was close to the end for my two aunts, my uncle, and the friend of the family was a shock, even though I knew he was sick and he was battling cancer, himself. And then a second cousin-in-law, but I did know him, and he was a lot older than me, and I was raised around him, so I saw him all the time when I was younger. So, but Jay just came to a complete and utter shock to me that happened, which I'm sure it did for his family. They weren't expecting this by any means. I'm not aware of anything that was pending health-wise, and he didn't share it with me if there was, that would give ground that this could possibly happen. And not that I'm not aware that it couldn't possibly happen at any time. We all don't know when our numbers are getting punched. But with all that, I think this has just hit harder. It's made me sit back and think about a lot of things, a lot of struggles that I've been going through. A lot of you know about them here on YouTube. A lot of just personal things. I guess I'll share it. I don't think I really have shared it in depth, but I've struggled with depression. I've struggled all my life with ADHD. And sometimes it wins, and a lot of times it doesn't. And that's just because I believe in mind over matter. And that has helped me. I'm ex-military. Anybody that's been in the military and has been through anything, you can completely understand. So I didn't go through as much as some and went through more than others. But, you take all those struggles of life, and then you if you're like me, you set personal goals and achievements you want to do. So, because you're at a certain age and you've only got, X amount of time, and what can I do with that time that I have? Well, I wanted to get back into the hobby. I did. I wanted to go into it full blown. I did. Not as much as I really wanted to, but and still want to, but I did. And my whole goal and focus was, well, I'll start sharing my work where I normally wouldn't. So I started on Facebook, and Facebook was just a joke to me. It's religion, it's politics, it's people fighting and arguing with each other over those facts just there. Not to mention, when I did find the modeling section of it, I was just seeing people getting ripped for asking just simple questions that should have been given simple answers instead of being ridiculed for asking them. So it kind of deterred me away from Facebook. And then I learned about Instagram. And I was like, oh, holy crap. Here we go. The rapport was great. I just started posting some pictures. People are really interested in what I did. How did I do it? What did I use? I'm like, oh, there's a thing for that? I'm like, then I started buying more magazines at the time, and I'm really seeing what's going on in the world and in the hobby. I'm like, oh boy, it's really evolved since the last time I was building. And man, look at all the products that are available and all the things that I thought about that I wish I could have to put on a model. And now my mental juices are just flowing. Well, a few years went by, and I'm doing good on Instagram, and met a lot of great people, went to some shows, met a lot of more great people, and got it all sucked up into it like anybody else would. And, well, I can't really talk here on Instagram that much. I would really like to be able to, even though I'm not there with them, I want to be able to act like I'm kind of there with them, which is what YouTube offered me, and a bigger platform for more people to see what I do. And you know, it started off really great. It was doing really good that first, let's say, 6 months. Then it started petering out. And then I kind of, that's when I was all wrapped up into it. I was struggling. You know, I had a sponsor, and just nobody was biting on it to help keep the sponsor around, basically. It was all it's intended for. And we lost that sponsor. And we had a couple other little ones, Ryan Jones, MGSF. And, you know, some fault of my own with Ryan Jones. Not that really it was my fault. You know, priorities take precedence over hobbies every day, any minute of the day. And I don't feel that I needed to contact him to let him know, hey, I got to take a break for probably about 7-8 months, maybe more. I'm handling family issues. But I've looked back on posts where he's had to do things and handle things, and he has made a post about it. So, yeah, technically my fault. But, you know, we were also, I consider us to be friends. He could have reached out to me and said, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen nothing out of you. No videos. And I would have been glad to explain. I would have taken the time to do it. I just, you know, out of sight, out of mind, other things were more important at the time. So you're going to see me take a lot of drinks here and stuff from time to time because I'm still struggling with the emotional part of this. Again, I don't understand, other than what I said, is the reason why I'm struggling with my emotions so much on this this topic, this build. Some of it is my departure from YouTube. Not 100%, but about 95%. And it'll be that way for a while. So I apologize for that, because on the mention of podcasts, I'm still not tech savvy enough to just and then start it. I don't have any money generating into my hobby right now to accommodate the expense to do it the correct way, I guess would be, or what I've seen other people do, you know, as far as using microphone equipment, using special apps, the recurring fees for that every month or every year. It's just something I don't have to devote to it right now. I struggle just to buy an extra kit. You know, am I lacking? No, absolutely not. But I'm like anybody else in the hobby. You always see new kits come out, and you're like, oh, I want that kit. I want that kit. All kinds of plans and designs I can do for it. And believe it or not, guys, and I think I've touched base on this. When I get a plan for a build, it's not just what's rattling in my head. I put what's in my head down in notes. That way, when I get around to it, then I can go back and revisit what I've written down, my designs, my ideas. I'll draw it out too. I'll research it. I'll just start collecting pictures, and I create files in my phone for that build. And they're under, right now, until they start, they're under a file called Future Builds. And that's where I keep all my ideas as far as a car I've seen that I want to replicate. And then when I start gathering a lot of information, I'll create a separate file, and whatever I've named it, like for example, Ring Brothers Charger. So I'll move all the photos that I've collected from that main file, the future file, over into Ring Brothers Charger file. And then as I start finding more information about a certain part or something I'm going to have to scratch build, and I look up pictures. So like, say if I was going to put an air conditioning system in that car, I would start looking up pictures that were, you know, aftermarket, OEM, and all those pictures would go in that file. That way, when I go to build it, that's all my reference material. And then I would go down to where I wrote it in the notebook, and okay, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I want to use this color, this color, this color, so on and so forth. You guys get the gist of it. And that's just how I operate. So when it comes time to build it, then I have pretty much everything I need. Now, in the case of the Ring Brothers Charger, at the time there wasn't a lot of pictures available showing different angles of the car, underneath the car. There were a few here and there, just nothing to really give me insight on that detail. And of course, as I revisit the kit, and then as my curiosity started getting the best of me, so I went to Ring Brothers website, and lo and behold, there's all the pictures that I was lacking in my arsenal of intelligence, so to speak, of that car. And the reference material that I wanted and needed didn't have, so I went a different route with it. Now it's available. So do I still do the model justice? Yes, absolutely. So we put it away again. And that happens from time to time on several of the builds I've done. Other things will encroach on you. You may screw up a paint job like we saw with the 65 Impala. We reworked it. We got it a lot better. Is it perfect? No, but we got it a lot better and we were able to finish the build. And it's something I can be proud of. It's a really good looking model. I've had somebody over here. He's also a YouTuber, Big Will. Shout out to you, brother. He gets to see my stuff up close in person all the time, as club members do when I go to club meetings, which I do have one this weekend. So, other than that, I share them here on YouTube, or I'll share them on Instagram. And my Facebook and Instagram are linked together now, so anytime I post on Instagram, my stuff will go to Facebook. So you'll be able to find what I do from here on out on there. And I apologize that to all you guys and gals that have followed me from the very beginning, that watched my videos from the very beginning to the end, and were faithful and true to that. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you. So I'm getting a double whammy here. My exit from YouTube, so to speak, and a farewell to a good friend. It's hard. And I know I'm not the only one that's ever experienced it or that's going through it. And I hope and I pray that you have a support group that can help you through it. I do, and I'm very appreciative of that. Several members of the community. Some that are close personal friends, some are that just fellow people I know, and other members. Time Machine, again, brother, thank you for the classes. I believe that's who it is. I'm probably screwing that up too. But they were sent to me, and they're so appreciated because now I can see what the hell I'm doing. But to try to stay on track here and not get side railed. So my intentions are, and this is where it's at, and then we're going to get to the reveal of the tribute build. I've really thought about the podcast, and I've got a lot of behind the scenes people that are willing to help. Because I'm not real tech savvy, and these people will be pivotal for any success in doing so. But thinking about it, and I've thought about it a lot, of what I want the format of that channel to be. It will be not on this channel, just to give you heads up. This channel will be kept open, so you guys can go back and see all the videos I've ever done, everything that we've talked about, all my rants, all the good and the bad. Good, bad, and the ugly. This will be a new channel that I'll open up, and I am dead set on the name, which will be the Average Joe Modeler, or Modelers Podcast. Now, the format for this. Each podcast, whether it's once a week, once a month, I don't know yet. It may start off once a week and move to once a month, once every 2 weeks. That's still open for debate and discussion and a lot of thought. But I know the format will be, each one will be one person that'll be spotlighted, one product or product company, whether it be like Ryan Jones, for an example, or, Tamia Paints, whatever it may be, and a certain topic of discussion for that podcast. And the podcast will be open for the spotlight part of it for somebody that builds models. I don't care if you're a beginner. You're somebody that has maybe built one model years ago when you're a teenager and you're really been looking to get back in it, and you like talking shop, so to speak, or to the guys that we consider pro builders. Now, a lot of people consider me a pro builder. I am not, to a degree, but not there. There's quite a few that are. Kevco, you guys, he's just come out here recently, and he's blown up the community with his amazing work he does, the attention to detail he does. He's got a YouTube channel now. He's working on that Chip Foose pickup truck. He does a lot of mill work, a lot of scratch building, and kit bashing, and just creating absolutely beautiful pieces of art. And that's what it's all about. And he's showing you step by step along the way. Not completely in detail as much as I'd like him to, but I'm not really looking to get into the industry of lathes, and I've got a good friend that does that stuff, and if I need to know, I can get that info from him. But it's people like him that I would consider a pro builder, because pro is somebody that is professional in what they do, to everything, the way they act, their mannerisms, whatever if it's their profession or if it's their hobby. That's what I really consider pro, and then their work is just outstanding. So, I mean, you compare it to things that are maybe more relative to understand. Somebody can pick up a canvas and paint a picture, and it's not any good, but they did it, and that's all that matters. But then you've got a professional painter. It's the experience. So in our hobby, it would be somebody that has high experience in tools, working with very tiny parts, the understanding of how tools work, and what is how much can you push those boundaries to create what you're trying to do. And the guys that are pro level are the guys that do that. I'm at where I push the boundaries of doing it, but I don't have great success with it. I have some, but not the success they do. So I want those kind of people on this podcast. I want the guy that just bought his first model car, and he's turning into YouTube or Instagram to see and get ideas from what we all are doing. And I want to hear about it. I want them to tell me about it. They're just going to build a box stock, or what do I do here? What do I do there? How do I do? That's the people I want. And I want people that come on that's got that know-how that they're willing to share with people that will be watching that want to know how to do it. So I'm not going to segregate my content to any one in particular person or any one particular genre. I want people on that build Gundams. I want people on that do military, dioramas, figures, minis, tabletop game figures, silhouettes, whatever it is. I want people on where they can share their knowledge. No time frame. I would like to keep it between an hour and a half if possible. It may go 2 hours. So now, all that said, how do we go about doing it? I can't create a certain space just for that. So I really like the live format of YouTube. I've never used it, but I like it. And I see a lot of podcasters that are in our hobby that use that as their way of doing it. And it's just one way, and maybe that'll lead to a better way. I don't know. You can let me know down in the comments what you think about it. if you're familiar with podcasting, it'll be my way to talk shop a lot. As you can see by all my videos, that's what I like to do that a lot. And I like to showcase what I do and explain how I did it and other things, So, you'll see some of my work from time to time if that comes to fruition, whatever the word is. If I bring it to reality that, hey, we're doing a podcast now. So now you guys know the platform, who, why, all that, the name that it'll be. I will come back on this channel and do a video and have the link down below to that channel when and if it happens, and the time or date for the first one. It could be several months before it even happens, if it happens. I'm still not sure. But until then, guys, anything that I do, I'll be posting on Instagram from time to time. Not regularly. I just don't see it. I've kind of want to do my own thing for a little while. So I hope you understand. I'm sad. Now, let's say we start the podcast and everything's going great. We're getting great people to come on, getting beginners to come on, people that have never built a model, that are interested in building a model, and they run out and they got the model, and now they want to come on the podcast, and they want to get a lot of answers to their questions. Well, it's going to be open to that too. But in the live feed, that kind of gives a lot of that in the comments going. People are, hey, how's it going? And hey, how'd you do that? And so I'm going to try to have a separate device going on each one. That way I can try to Q&A as we go. And it'll always be open to leaving something down in the comments or a direct email, and I can get the answer back to you. But I have a group of people that'll be involved that is also other knowledge. So if I don't particularly know something or can give you the correct answer or the direction you need to go in, they will, or I'll find it and then I'll get that information to you. But I'll respond as quick as possible. Now, that being said, because a lot of people don't like it in the sponsorships, whether we like it or not, guys and girls, sponsorships are a way of the channel. Not everybody has thousands of dollars to go out throughout the hobby and buy all these great products that are being released and introduced to the hobby. And when you're an average modeler or a decent modeler and a sponsor looks at that and says, oh, hey, he's up and coming, he's doing really good. I've asked around, people know him, offering a sponsorship. That's just a way for that person to keep their channel going and bringing you guys great stuff and new products to look at. I don't knock that a lot. There's ways to go about doing it. I think that our hobby needs to change a little bit on that. And that's part of my aggravation, but it's not all. So as a podcast channel, would we be willing to accept a sponsor? Twofold. It would have to be a sponsor that would be pertaining to the hobby. Paid promotion, no. I'm not looking to gain finances out of this. But, if sponsors want to send, say we're talking about paint one week, and somebody wants to say, hey, I heard your podcast, I really like what you're doing, and you were talking about certain paints and you're going to put it in your podcast on the next one. I'd like to send you some stuff. Try it out, see what you think, and then, show it on your podcast. That I will be open to very much because that helps us with content for the podcast. Now, kind of everything, that's pretty much settles everything. Now, will we be doing giveaways? No. I do see one thing, just to help generate a little income to the podcast, to help the podcast grow into something better, not financial gain by any means, for personal use. kind of like a whatever it's called out in the real world. Anyways, off topic. T-shirts. I think it'd be nice that if we can sell t-shirts alone, nothing else, stick to basically one color, one design, available in different sizes, and as a gift for you coming on the podcast, taking time out of your day, that would be kind of our gift. I gotta say our gift to you for taking the time to come on our podcast. You would receive a shirt. That's just an idea. It's not written in stone yet, but it is a possibility. And then they would also be available just to the general public to purchase, and that money, those proceeds would go directly to the podcast and podcast only. Maybe to purchase better equipment. Maybe we don't have a sponsor for a certain topic and we like that brand, and a lot of people are talking about it, and we'll have to go purchase it for that reason. So that would be the only reasoning for that. Just kind of complete transparency here, and that's kind of where we'll leave it. Now, I want to get through this video without breaking down again. I know Jay's wife and one of Jay's daughters will be watching this. First, the flaws. I do have a ride height issue on the driver's side. I don't know what happened there, but I got it wonky. Sitting on all fours, and it's only sitting on all fours because it's getting a little, like it's popping a wheelie on the passenger side front tire or something. It's torquing really hard, but it doesn't look like that. It looks wonky. Have a couple spots on the paint to fix. So you may see those and, spot them out just to give you a heads up. But they are repairable, and I will be repairing it here in the next day or two, and then it'll go into the display case. And Mrs. Langford, if you are watching, please, my phone number is in Jay's phone. I know it's a difficult time. I'm a nobody, and I'm really struggling with it myself. I would like to get one of Jay's decals that he uses for his license plates. I would love to be able to put one of those on the front of this model. I also thrown it out there. I was supposed to do a build for Jay. You may be aware of it. You may not be aware of it. So I'm talking directly to you right now. Now, in that deal, there were some things Jay had offered me for me doing it. There were some things that Jay still owed me from previous builds I've done. I'm not really worried about all that. Like I said before, I'd much rather have Jay back. But I extend you the offer. I would still like to build that for Jay, even though he's not here really to appreciate it. But it's something that you could appreciate, or one of his grandchildren may appreciate, or children may appreciate. I don't know. That would be for you to decide. If you're aware of what all he had planned to do and what he was giving me in trade for doing it, great. If not, I do. I'm very honest. I'm not trying to get something for nothing. But I still would really like to do that build for him, and get one of those license plates to be able to put on this build, so I have that to remember him by, and so on and so forth. I mean, if I'm going to be frankly honest, I'd really like to get those 3 builds back that I did for him. That way I could take them to shows, and just for people to see them. They were 3 things that he really loved. He was blown away by, and he valued very much. So, but they're not mine. They're just, I would like to, even though it's my work. I built them for him according to his specifications, not my own. I had some input on them, but they were his designs, and I just hope that they live on and they're taken care of, and future generations of his family get to see them and enjoy them. And that's all that matters. But I had plans for this from the minute Jay gifted it to me. He had wanted to do it, and not this way. He had a little different idea for it, but he was just nice enough he knew I was looking for one, and he offered it to me free of charge, no strings attached. Just build it, Rick. Just build it. I love what you do. Everything you do about him, he says, I really like it. He says, just do it. So I had big plans for it. I was going to open the trunk, open the hood, detailed chassis, detailed interior, detailed engine, the whole 9 yards. But in the scheme of reality, I got so much going on that I just couldn't devote that kind of time to this build. And I knew from the short time I did know Jay, which is about 9 years, I knew he liked cutlasses. I knew he loved 3D parts, as most anybody that's in the hobby does. Tires and wheels make the hot rod. The engine details make the hot rod. He loved all that about it. The custom paints, all that really drove him to do what he does. Now, unfortunately with Jay, he's had a lot of medical issues, and it kept him from working and doing these small models. So he devoted his attention to RC, which was a lot bigger, easier to be able, motor skill wise to work on. But always kept buying models, kept always having ideas, and would get one out and bust out and build. And he did the group builds, and he would do tribute builds for people and appreciation builds. He did one for Terry. I think he did one for Fred Henry. I can't remember. But if you go to his channel, you'll see all the ones that he's done in the past. And he always built one for the family at Christmas time, his kids, just stuff like that. He was just that type of guy. So I hope, Jay, you're looking down and you like this. I miss you, brother. And, that's kind of where we'll leave it. So let's get into this build. It is the Johan 1975 Cutlass. It's the snap kit. You'll see probably up in the thumbnail the box art. It is flawed, but it's okay. It's still a nice model. It didn't turn out super crappy. It's not show quality, but I'm really happy with it. And once I fix the little things that I somehow created, it'll be even better. Will it be perfect then? No. Guys, just don't focus on trying to be perfect. Just build the model. The more you build, the better you get. The more you hone your skill, and then you can, attempt other things that you see other people doing. You can just practice makes perfect. Trial and error. That's all it is. But it's all art. Now I'm going to hold it up, and then we're going to set it down, and I'll take the camera and go around it. Products we used. We used Tropical Glitz for the body color. It was Mr. Surfacer 1500 black primer, wet sanded. Tropical Glitz Galactic Silver. Right here is the number if you guys are interested. This was the base coat. And then we used Tropical Glitz MK6 Pink Wine, which is a candy color, but it can be a base color too if you want. You just got to have a really good, like as we did with this, there is no clear coat, so we hand rubbed that out and got a period correct finish on the paint, which you can achieve with enamels, acrylics, what have you. But for the low rider guys, they would go over a silver or gold with this and really get great effects out of it, and still have that pink wine look, but yet those other colors showing through. We didn't want that in this area. What we wanted is certain areas to be highlighted in lighter shades of pink. That's why we used the silver base. So all of our sharp edges and high points in a certain lighting give that lighter pink hue to it, which is what this paint looks like when it's done. And then other areas is that dark wine appearance. So there is a Cutlass I've seen back at this time that was real similar to this color. So it kind of really plays the part. We also use splash paints interior colors, the dark brown leather for inside. We used STS decals for seat inserts, stash decals to create the wood panels on the door panels. 3D printed parts were the steering wheel, the tachometer, the shifter, foot pedals, and tires and wheels. Now the tires and wheels are from Ryan Jones, Z-Force Model Works. We also used Hero Boy decals for the raised white letters on the tires. We used the 1956 Bel Air, the newest release, the 2-in-1 kit, where you can set it hot, normal height, ride height, or lowered. We used the brakes and rotors and the decals for those out of that kit. Other kits decals for the dashboard, aftermarket and kit related decals. The speaker grills in the back are from another kit. Molotow chrome, we stripped the bumpers. I opened up the front bumper on the lower half. We re-chromed them, painted the bumper trim on them. We used Tamiya paints, clear and solid colors, Testors colors, Vallejo colors. So that's pretty much a rundown of all the products that we used on this thing. We also used 68, 69 Corvette sport mirrors for the sides. What else do we use? Oh, we use MGSF door lock tumblers for both doors and the trunk. What else? So there's quite a slew of parts down in here. All these 3D printed parts came from me, other than the tires and wheels, which came from Ryan Jones. It's a promise that I made to him that I would use them on every build that I ever did. Except for one, which you just saw was the one Corvette. I used the kit wheels that came with it, because that's all I had at the time with that kit, and that's the way I wanted it to be. So, but pretty much everything else, if it's not Ryan Jones, it's Z4 or Steve Zimmerman tires and wheels. And I got a few others from other people that sent me stuff that I use. But I'm going to show you the underneath. Let me get a drink. I had a colonoscopy, if you all know what that is, Monday. I'm still having to keep myself hydrated. So underneath, we just detail painted. Nice and clean. We didn't use screws, we used pins, because I still have to take this apart to correct one error we just won't even discuss. It's not a major one, it's very minor. Detail painted exhaust, the transmission. That is Model Masters gold that I hand polished back out. I need to touch it up a little bit more. Vallejo metallizers. We added a decal to the oil filter just to pick out a little detail. Nothing crazy and radical like I normally do. You can't do a lot with this unless you really start hacking everything away, because it's all molded in. But see, with a snap kit, you can make it look really good. It's just proof right there. Don't deter away from a snap kit. It's what you put into it is what makes it. It's not just because it's a snap kit and it's not going to have this or that or the other. Add it to it. You know, if you've built 3 or 4 models by now, you got a pretty good collection of spare parts, and you can go buy parts and have somebody make you some parts for it and create a beautiful model out of it. Front bumper, where I talked about, we cut that all open, stripped them down, sanded everything down, re-chromed it, masked off, painted the bumper trim, black washed. We still need to put the clear resin on the headlights to make it look like it's glass. The taillights have already been done. I have to touch up right here on this tail, a little, I don't know if it's a turn signal indicator, whatever it is. I have to touch that up. I got a little, you can see it right there, a little tiny line. I think it might have been, I used canopy glue for the windshields, so I might have strung a string across that. So I need to sand that down a little bit and polish it back out. And I got a little spot on underneath this trim right here on the driver's side that I got to do the same thing to. We also used the Hearst Olds decals just to make it look like it's a fake Olds. I don't even know if I did it correctly, but I don't care. Now if I shine this, you can see the light hues of pink as I rotate this in the light. So on camera, it's really not going to do it justice. You got to be here in person and see it. You kind of see right up here on the fender well when I turn it a certain way that light hits it. there's lighter hues of pink in that. And that's because they're using that galactic silver base that allows that to be a little lighter in certain areas. And that, just looking at it in person and under the intense light, if I really bring this light down and put on it, now I can start seeing it. But just, normal lighting, you can't really tell, but still a beautiful color. We use kit decals. All cutlasses only have stripes on the hood. They never carried across the back that I'm aware of anyways. Other than the pace car, I think that the gold stripe carried across the trunk too. But we just did them across the hood, as we did on the other cutlass I built for Jay. Tires and Wheels by Ryan Jones. Like I said, Hero Boy decals. This is the ride height that I want. It's not what I originally wanted, but it's what I actually ended up liking. So that's great. Turned out great. This side, this is normally what I go for, and this would be even a little lower. But it's causing the model to sit, it's just wonky. So I got to correct this side. I just pop them loose, clean it up, re-glue them back in where they need to be, and then I'll take the pins out, pull the bumper off, and then I can readjust the suspension, and then I'll glue it back permanently then. But yeah, that's, you kind of seen an overall view of it. You can see the shine in that paint. That's just hand rubbed lacquer, for a better word. No clear coat, but you can achieve that 1970s era style, that would come from the factory, clear coat, instead of showroom high gloss finish like 2K Clear does for you. And the paint laid super smooth, no issues, really no orange peel to speak of whatsoever. I mean, if you really magnified it, you would see some. I got fingerprints all over it. I did just put a coat of wax on it, so it's kind of greasy. I got to polish it back out a little bit. But we'll pull the camera here, and you guys can take a look at it. Kind of go around the whole thing here. That you can see now. That is a very cool ride height. The front should be a little lower for that look there, which is normally what I go for. And that Jay likes that look a lot. Now you can see that pink. See it up there on top, right in front of that mirror? That's what I'm talking about. That's why these tropical glitz colors are so nice. And it gives you so many various ways to play with the, the outcome of the finish. If you do your due diligence and put the work in and the base colors and everything else. Up here you can see there that you can see that pink showing through a little bit lighter, a little lighter. Get my finger out there so it'll focus. And then you get the darker. Down here it's really dark, it's lighter. That's all in the paint. It's just beautiful color. And I'll get up close on here so you can see. Let it focus. That's poor body work right there, but the paint smoothness is really across that hood. You can see there's some dimples there. That being a screw bottom kit, that's where you'd put stuff together. I would normally fill those in, sand them down. I'm out of time, guys. There you go. You can see the pink on the top edge of that fender. That is dust. Right there, you can see the orange peel is so minute that you really, unless I really get up super close on it where you'd be able to see it even with your naked eye. But that'll all come out when I do final polish this thing. And you see the shine, the reflection. You can see all that stuff that's in my shop in the reflection of that paint. And that's just hand rubbed lacquer. That's using the Tamiya right here. Finish, the silver. Fine, I think is what it's called. Just using that and the microfiber towel, hand polishing it out 2 or 3 times, and you'll get that kind of shine out of it. And there's that mark, and you can kind of see it now. And I think that's all it is that glue. I'll just lightly sand that down with some 5000, then polish it back, and we'll be just fine. But yeah, this side is exactly what I wanted. Looks good. Where's the other side? Yes, this side. So, get inside, you can see. Let it focus a little bit, if we can get it to focus. See if I put my hand back there, if that helps. Right there, you can kind of see the shifter, gauges, the tachometer up there on the steering wheel, the side panels, trim, the inserts. There's a lot of detail in there. The vents are all decals. Over on the driver's side, vents. Two-toned. The dashboard. Actually 3 if you include the black plastic trim around the gauges. Right here where my finger is. Top dash pad is a different brown. The lower half is the saddle interior. And you can see how that leather brown looks when you paint it. It's kind of like a candy also. It'll highlight lighter areas and darker areas. Gives you that saddle leather look. So, again, hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope his wife appreciates it, his daughter. I really would like to get one of those little tags if I could. You can even mail it to me. If you just call me or text me, and I'll send you my address. I would like to have that to put on the front of this to remember Jay by. And my offer still holds true. If you'd like me to build that, I'd be willing to help you. I don't know what you're going to do with this collection. If you're going to disperse it out through your family, that's great. I know he always told me you called it your retirement, and he's got a lot that's worth a lot, and then some that's just worth regular, just like anybody else. But I'd be happy to help you however I can, and I would love to build that Nova for him if the offer's still on the table. But this is where I bid everybody a farewell. Keep your bell notifications open so you'll know when I post the video on the diorama, the Ring Brothers Charger, and if I make the announcement about the podcast, so you'll know where to go. For all you that know me personally, it's got my phone number. My emails are always down below. Send me a message from time to time. Show me what you're working on. I'd love to see it. And if you're interested in what I'm doing, you'll have to go to Instagram and keep up with me on there and see what I post when I post. So it's been real, guys. I've had a blast. I'll see you when I see you. Oh, by the way, just a special announcement. I will be at the Buckeye Classic Model Show. I think it's in next month. I'll be up there with Big Will and the Mopar Modeler, if you guys are familiar with him. So come up and say hi to me. I'll probably wear one of my Rusty Roaders Model Car Garage t-shirts. Well, you can kind of recognize me if you don't recognize me by this mug. And come up, say hi. Hang out for a few minutes, talk. Look forward to meeting anybody that shows up there. You're going to see a lot of great builds on the tables. I am bringing some stuff. I'll keep that a surprise. You'll see it on the tables. You'll recognize it. And until then, guys and gals, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. This was as much fun as it was aggravating. Actually, probably a little bit more fun than aggravating. But I thank you guys. And I'm Rusty Roader. I'm out. For good.